Alright, welcome back to the channel. So my name is I'm representing from the DevRelCon Conference Committee. So in this series of the video, we have been interviewing with speakers at this conference. Today, I will be talking with Harshita, one of the speaker at the conference. So I will welcome her to put here. Hi, Harshita.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing good too. Really excited to be speaking to you today.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today here. We are very excited to have you in the conference.
Absolutely. I'm even more excited to, get the opportunity to speak at DevRelCon Yokohama.
All right. So let's kick it off. So first of all, uh, can you introduce yourself? Just a quick summary of yourself, what you do, and where you're based in, and the other like your information you want to share.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a third year student pursuing my Bachelor of Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering from National Institute of Technology, Hamirpur, India. And I like to describe myself as a developer walking in the shoes of a designer and wearing the hat of a DevRel. And I believe I'm enjoying the best of all these three worlds: the worlds of a developer, the world of a designer, and the world of a DevRel professional. So I'm primarily an AR/VR developer and a UI UX designer, but I love advocating for the technical communities on my campus. And I'm also a GitHub campus expert and a Microsoft Learn student ambassador. So, being one, I organize a hackathon called Electrothon. I run this community in my college called SPEC, or Society for Promotion of Electronics Culture. And when I'm not doing any of this, I read fiction and I solve crosswords.
Thank you. So you're studying, and can you tell us more about what your area of study?
I'm primarily pursuing a degree in electronics and communication engineering. But apart from my curriculum, I've explored the domains of augmented and virtual reality. I have interned as an interface designer, as a UI UX designer. So that's what I'm studying. And I'm also really enthusiastic about game development. So these are the domains which I study.
So studying bunch of technologies, as well as working some of the community, you know, outside of your study, and how do you like it?
All right. So, as I mentioned in my introduction,
Mm.
I have been a GitHub campus expert for my campus, NIT Hamirpur, for the last 2 years. So, being one, I advocate for the creation of diverse and inclusive communities on my campus. So, we run this community where we work on the domains of AI/ML, on AR/VR, web development, IoT, hardware, basically everything under the sun. So it's great working, running a student community. It's great, it's fun, it's challenging at the same time. And I guess that's my, like, working in this community was my little entry into the world of developer relations.
Sounds great. Yeah, community is exciting all the time. Yeah, and I'm just curious how you got into the developer relations world because you've been working as GitHub campus expert and Microsoft student ambassador, and yeah.
All right. So I got to know the nuances of this term developer relations relatively recently. That is around 8 to 9 months back when I attended an event called GitHub Field Day India. Before that, I was very active in the community ecosystem on my campus. I was a part of communities. I was already a GitHub campus expert by then, but I did not know that the work which I was doing on my campus that could be counted as developer advocacy. So when I attended GitHub Field Day India, I met people like Siddharth Dayalwal, I met Aditya Obrai. These people will be speaking at DevRel Yokohama too. And they told me about the nuances of being a DevRel professional. So that's when I learned that the work that I'm doing on my campus, to a certain extent, that also counts as developer advocacy or as DevRel.
Yeah, I actually got to interview it at the EA. So yeah, he's actually one of the speaker at this conference, and the another guy as well. And it's always good to have like someone who is like a mentor, or like sometimes uh like a role model who are close to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe when we are early in our career,
Mm,
it's always better to look at someone for inspiration who is 10 steps ahead of you instead of looking at somebody who is like maybe 1,000 steps ahead of you, like rather than, seeking inspiration from somebody from maybe some senior DevRel professional at Google.
mm.
Why not seek inspiration from somebody who you've seen around at a couple of meetups, whom you feel is a really approachable person in terms of mentorship or in terms of guidance? So that's
Yeah.
one way of looking at it.
So this conference will be a very, great opportunity for you and the others to, get to know each other, from all over the world, and with like different background, experience, culture.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that will be very, good opportunity for you.
Definitely. Definitely.
How do you see the transition of the activities recently? Because like after the COVID, most of the online, digital like events, uh, back to normal, and some of them are switching to in person. That's why DevRelCon had been running as a online conference the last 2 years. However, this year it's finally back to in person. How is the society like change in India?
So, owing to the pandemic, I had spent the first 4 semesters of my college in like completely online mode, right?
Mm,
So, if you're running a community, that too remotely,
mm,
like things are very, very different from doing the same in person. So, I believe my perspective as a student, as a community enthusiast, was really, really, really limited in the
mm,
online mode. And it's when things resumed in the offline medium back then, that's
mm,
when I learned about so many intricacies that come into play in the community ecosystem or in the event organization ecosystem, running in the campus administration for permissions, arranging arranging auditorium permissions and stuff like that. So, from a student point of view, that was the transition, and from a community enthusiast point of view, right? So,
mm,
like from sending meet links to students and telling them to join it for some community meeting to actually seeing them face to face, talking to them in person. I
mm,
believe the transition was quite drastic.
mm. Yeah, I prefer in person. Sometimes, like digital, like online, it's quicker than something, you know, like in person or offline. But well, like once we meet someone in person, that will be easier to proceed with anything like afterwards.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And this is what I feel, but like most of the time, it's very difficult uh, to generate engagement with the like digital conference to get them connected.
Exactly, exactly. You never know if the person who's sitting behind the other screen,
Yeah.
is he or she really enjoying the experience? Does
Mm,
he or she have anything, any feedback to give?
yeah.
Or like being an organizer of 2 iterations of an online hackathon and
Mm,
then organizing this one in the in-person mode,
mm.
this difference is quite stark.
Yeah, hackathon will be much more difficult when you host something online, because you cannot teach like something to do,
Exactly.
and yeah.
From an engagement point of view, it is definitely easier to convince people to join an event or a workshop when they're right in
Mm,
front of you, rather than when they're sitting in the comfort of their home behind a screen.
yeah, that's why, yeah, we are very excited to, to host this conference in person. And
Equally excited to be there.
yeah, and uh, well, let's move on to the another question. Have you joined the developer relations conference before? Maybe, yeah, you have already joined some of the community, you know like community conference. Like I was just looking at, you joined the DevFest in India, and like something more. Yeah.
All right, so this will be my first time joining a DevRelCon. So
Mm,
this will be my first time joining a conference that's exclusively built for DevRels.
mm,
But apart from that, I have been a part of Major League Hacking's HackCon India, which happened in Delhi in September. I was a speaker there as well. I was speaking on the hackathon ecosystem. Also, I've been a part of a couple of events like Google's DevFest India Delhi and Google's DevFest Jammu. Again, I was speaking on communities and gamification over there. So these are a couple of events I've been a part of. But DevRelCon, it's going to be the first time.
right. Are you excited?
I am extremely, extremely excited. Like my fingers are all crossed that the visa process goes on smoothly,
Mm.
and I'm extremely excited to be there.
Yeah, that's good to hear that. And have you been to Japan before?
No, no, no. This is going to be my first time.
So your first time, yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, and that's gonna be exciting for you to experience something new, like something different culture,
Definitely.
yeah, something different culture, yeah.
Definitely.
All right. So finally, can you say any comments for the audience for looking forward to this conference and your talk? Just brief quickly about what you're going to speak.
All right, so I'm really excited to be speaking at DevRelCon Yokohama. I'm looking forward to meet people from all walks of life, to learn what their experiences in the DevRel ecosystem and in the community ecosystem have been like, to learn from their mistakes, and to adopt the rectifications which they did in my own local community. Also, I'll be speaking on tech communities, gamification, and creativity. So, the senior developers might experience a tinge of nostalgia when they hear about the difficulties that they might too have faced as student community leaders in their campus. And if there are students in the conference, the talk will definitely strike a chord with them because of its simplicity, because of the gamification system and stuff like that. So, extremely excited to be speaking at DevRelCon Yokohama about tech communities, gamification, and creativity.
Thank you so much. We are looking forward to having you at this conference. So, for everyone, if you haven't registered the conference, don't miss it. We are looking forward to your SVP, and then see you there.